Hello, hello. How's everyone feeling? It is a Venus day, Venus evening. It's about 7:52 Jupiter hour on the 16th of May. And there are a few things that I wanted to mention that is happening in the skies and that's coming up. And we could be feeling the building energies. So yeah, one of the things that just happened today is that Venus cleared her shadow at 10 degrees Aries. And so this can be compared to when Mars cleared his shadow beginning of May. So they're both in fire signs. They both went retrograde originally in fire signs and then went back to water signs. Mars went back into Cancer and Venus went back into Pisces. And so now they've been trining each other for the past week or so, and they will continue to trine, which is a flowing energy of agreement. So both in fire signs, Mars is in Leo and Aries is in Venus is in Aries. And so there's this beautiful dance that they have going on where they kind of are able to lead and follow pretty instinctively. And it's a really actually sexy kind of energy because Leo is all about creativity and fun and joy and sex, and Aries is all about going after what you want. And with the sun, which rules Leo in the sign of Taurus, this can be connected to your five senses. So like really enjoying all of the pleasures in life. And Venus, being ruled by Mars, is in the sign of Leo. So there's this cute little circuit of energy that's flowing right now. So with Venus clearing her shadow, you can probably, if you haven't already been experiencing this, but like you can start to attract relationships or things that you've been wanting or desiring or dreaming of. And it's kind of this like forward motion, kind of like that feeling when you step into the sunlight after being in the shadow, being in the shade. It's just that warm feeling of having like this sun-kissed sensation, and it just feels, you know, like there's endorphins that are flowing and you don't even realize, but it's that kind of feeling. So there's that's kind of the possibly the lightness that we could hopefully be experiencing, which yeah, it's well deserved after so many crazy energies. But you know, again, this is all in preparation for all of these big energies that are evolving us. And one of the other ones that I wanted to mention is the Sun-Uranus conjunction that is technically happening on the 17th, so tomorrow evening, about 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the interesting thing about the Sun-Uranus conjunction is that they are each ruled by fixed signs. Sun rules Leo and Uranus rules Aquarius, and they are opposite of each other on the zodiac wheel, and then it's in the sign of Taurus, which is another fixed sign. So this can really reset your values, your creativity. It can really reset how you express yourself, your outward appearance, and how you relate to humanity, how you relate to the collective. And I consider this is happening at 27 degrees Taurus, and that's also the point of the fixed star Algol. And so I think I mentioned this in maybe a previous video with Algol and Uranus. I definitely feel like this is a rewriting of the mythology of Lilith stories. Feminine has been in some way demonized or suppressed in some way where she's not able to really be herself and feel protected and safe and secure. And there's some sort of insecurity that's developed because of the conditioning that has been happening over the past thousands of years, attributed to patriarchal perspectives. And so that's all changing. This is going to be a dismantling of those mythologies where the truth can actually emerge. And with Uranus and the Sun at this point, there's going to be, I feel like, a lot of rebellion, autonomy expressed, and inventiveness. It's going to be this kind of emancipation from the patriarchy. Because this also is in a sextile, this conjunction is also in a sextile to Saturn in Pisces. And Saturn is like a few degrees away from Neptune in Aries. And so to me, this feels like the structures, the patriarchal structures that have been ruling the world for how many years, is dissolving. So there's going to be this erosion of patriarchal beliefs and systems and pretty much life as we know it. Like, we've probably been feeling this percolating within us for a while, and seeing all of this really come to the surface can be very, I mean, not just rewarding, but it's like, hell yes, you know, like, I'm here for it, especially as an Aquarius moon. It's like an about time kind of feeling. Mantra. I also consider the mantras of the zodiac signs. So the mantra for Leo is I will, and the mantra for Aquarius is I know. And so you combine those two together and you get I know I will. And so this is really rebellious, autonomous, liberating. This is kind of like outgrowing those stagnant connections, those stagnant paradigms that we've been subject to. Be very inspirational. There, at the same time, there is the potential of maniac kind of attitude, kind of outlook, megalomaniac kind of approach. So this is sort of like a radical identity glitch, is what I'm calling it, and something to look forward to. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's actually a Earth trine happening at the same time with the moon currently in Capricorn, and during the exact conjunction of the Sun and Uranus, the moon will be around 26 degrees, 27 degrees of Capricorn. So there's going to be this grand Earth trine with the moon, the Sun and Uranus, and the South Node in Virgo. And the South Node in Virgo is that point in the sky where we are releasing those shadow sides of Virgo. And so this is a very supportive circuit of energy that really allows us to let go of those outdated myths and outdated beliefs and make room and make space for something brand new to emerge. And so I love that the ruler of Capricorn, Saturn, is in a sextile to the Sun and Uranus conjunction, in an opposition to the South Node, which is conjunct the North Node. So it's very supportive. I mean, we have all the reasons to trust that these conversations that are being had about uprooting the patriarchy is definitely in divine timing. So that's exciting, and especially with Venus coming out of her shadow, that's another supportive signature of then really stepping into the light. And then the next day, on the 18th, Mercury squares Mars. So Mercury in Taurus squares Mars in Leo at 13 degrees and 53 minutes. And the moon is still in Capricorn, which will be coming to the later degrees of Capricorn. But we have our mind on our money and the urge to splurge. And so we could be feeling like we want to treat ourselves, or we want to enhance our appearance in some way. But then the Mercury in Taurus wants to make sure that we have sufficient funds in order to support our need to, or urge to spend or enjoy or go on that vacation or whatever it might be. And then at the same time, too, Saturn conjuncts Ceres at 29 degrees of Pisces. And Molly McCord put out this really eye-opening video on Ceres and the moon, and how Ceres is almost like our second moon, where it's expressed, or it has been expressed in ways where maybe when you went to school for the first time, you know, you're separating from your nuclear family for that day for 6 or 8 hours, and you're meeting a whole other group of kids. And so there's that there's the need to detach from the mother, and based on your series, or your series, the way you approach or operate is new. And so the way you handle yourself when you're separated from the family, from your mother, and you're entering this new environment can be seen through Ceres, and where Ceres is in your chart. And so with Saturn conjunct Ceres in the sign of Pisces at the last degree, I feel like this is a very spiritually disciplined kind of energy where, isolation, meditation, discernment, and like that spiritual silence is where Saturn and Ceres are meeting up, especially at 29 degrees in a sextile to the Sun and Uranus. So this is kind of like really holding space for these big changes that are happening. And I feel like that's also supported with Cheroklo at, I think, around 27, I want to say around, I think it's more like 22, 23 degrees of Aquarius, because it was at 22 degrees of Aquarius during the full moon in Scorpio. So yeah, it's around 22, 23 degrees of Aquarius in a separating square to the Sun-Uranus conjunction. But Cheroklo is the wife of Chiron, who was able to really hold space for healing. And there's a lot of healing going on, and we just need to create that space for the healing to take place. It's a less intrusive kind of healing rather than a hands-on kind of healing. Also this weekend on the 18th, Jupiter squares the North and South Node. So Jupiter in Gemini in a mutable sign is squaring the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. So Jupiter expands anything it touches, and in the sign of Gemini, Gemini is an air sign. It likes to think, likes to analyze. Analyze is more Virgo, but there's still like a lot of information that can be flooding our brain. And so with Jupiter there's even that much more information to take in. And this can also be opportunities that we're trying to decide on which to take or decline, because it is in a crossroads configuration with the North and South Node. But Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces, so it is kind of like this, these blessings that we are experiencing and these opportunities, which can be overwhelming because it's like the doubt can set in whether we can really handle these opportunities, or if we have the finances, or if we are able to be successful in that decision. But the thing that we want to lean into is trusting that all of the decisions, like trusting that the decisions that we make will be supported by the universe, as long as we are coming at it from a place of trust and integrity, and knowing that this is something that will benefit not just us personally, but it's going to put us in the direction of healing the collective. Like, we are going to find ways to give back to society or humanity, or the bigger picture. Like, this is a crossroads configuration where we are being asked to zoom out and see the big picture and how we affect the collective, and how we're going to improve and enhance the future, like create heaven on earth and heal earth, like literally the planet. So yeah, that's going to be at 25 degrees Gemini, when the North and South Node is on 25 degrees Pisces and Pisces and Virgo, which is also going to be on my Sun and Mercury at 25 degrees Pisces. Yeah, so this is some exciting energy, exciting astrology. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that made sense. And yeah, if there's anybody that is curious about how these energies can play out in your life, then hit me up. Let me know. I would be happy to unfold your beautiful birth chart with you. And yeah, stay centered, stay grounded, stay hydrated, and enjoy the blessings that this earth has to offer. So yeah, hope to see you on the next one. Thanks so much for sticking around, and all the best.